hello. Mic test. Mic test number 2. Okay, so everyone, and welcome to our channel Two Birds, One Home. I'm Yejin,
I'm Trisha.
and we're very excited to begin this series here on YouTube, where we travel to Australia to go on a working holiday together over the next year or two. And we are very excited to bring you along with us to experience to see what we experience and what we go through over the next 2 years. Right now it's the 1st of July, Wednesday, and we are in Trisha's balcony. And we are filming this just to give you guys a little bit of an introduction as well as a bit of context as to what we're trying to do here on YouTube or on our channel. Yeah. So we've just taken a bit of break from packing our things and just wanted to make this first video to sort of introduce ourselves and what we hope to achieve on this channel, and maybe it also give some context to you guys who are watching on YouTube. We're both Singaporeans, and we're both 28 years old this year. For me, I studied law in Singapore, and after getting called to the bar here, I was a practicing lawyer for about 2 years or so in a mid-sized to large firm. I did mostly general litigation work, as well as some private client and advisory matters. What about you, Trish? What do you do?
Yeah, so I graduated, that was back in 2021. So for the past 5 years, I was actually working in finance, banking, specifically private banking and wealth management. So I had the chance to work on the front line doing sales, as well as more on the back end doing investment products. And it's been a really fulfilling journey, tough, but the people that I met along the way really helped me progress in my finance career. But now we both decided to take a break from our careers. And actually, just a fun fact, so after I left my full-time job in banking, that was late April 2026 this year.
Just recently, 2 months ago.
Yeah, so I decided to work part-time at a matcha shop to whisk matcha for customers. It's something that I really love, if you can't already tell. And it was a really good past 1 to 2 months. The people at the shop are very sweet. It's been interesting as well to work with customers or work in a retail kind of job. You see many different types of people. You enjoy the conversations that you have with strangers.
So outside of our jobs, we share a common hobby, which is bouldering or rock climbing. In future, you guys can get to see some videos of us doing that as well in Australia. So anyway, coming back to this channel, right? What we're trying to do is to share our journey through this working holiday over the next year or two with you guys here on YouTube, and to give you guys a glimpse of what it is like from our perspective. We have seen a lot of videos online of many solo travelers or people who have gone by themselves initially and made friends in Australia or even in other countries where there's this working holiday. But mostly they still do it by themselves, and I think that the challenges that you face as a solo traveler as compared to us as a couple might be different. For instance, is finances. It's easier, I think, at least for us, to plan finances together as a couple, as opposed to if I was doing it alone or even with friends, right? Because you may not necessarily agree with all the decisions that you guys make together, especially for big ticket items such as your rental place or your cars, for example. Yeah. So I think that we have it a bit easier in those aspects, but it may also be a bit more challenging in other areas because we do have to still coordinate our schedules quite closely together, as opposed to if you're a solo traveler, you can really do whatever you wish as long as you're happy. But we'll see how it goes. Are you worried about anything?
No, I mean, but still at the end of the day, we are our own individuals, right? So what we prefer, our habits, our preferences, they differ as well. So I guess this is also a journey in that aspect, right? That we learn to marry our differences or sort things
But
out.
I think because we've been together quite a number of years, you know your habits, I know you know my habits, and we both have sort of grown accustomed to each other as well. So I'm confident we'll be able to do well.
No, but I think in terms of how we experience the working holiday, as a female, as a male, it might be different.
Yeah. So that is also one thing that I wish to also show on our YouTube channel, is the contrast, between the two of us, as whether it's due to our habits, preferences, or whether it's just because I'm a guy and she's a girl.
Yeah.
I do want to share both our perspectives on YouTube so that you guys can see what it's like, for someone like me and someone like her to go on a working holiday. And even though it might be mostly the same experience, we might still see a lot of things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be quite an interesting perspective, I hope, for you guys here on YouTube.
Yeah, and one special thing that we'll be doing is we are bringing Ejin's pet cat, our pet cat. So Luna's coming along with it was quite a long journey for
I wouldn't
us.
say it's a long journey, but you had to plan quite early in
Yeah,
advance.
it was a bit of a planning process.
Yeah, so
that
just
we
to
had do.
elaborate, I think that most people who go on working holidays, they do not bring pets with them because it is quite a troublesome thing, to be honest. There's a lot of considerations that you have to cater for. We got a pet transporter to do it, so I think that really helped with a lot of the processes as well as the
Paperwork.
yeah. So because Australia is quite a strict country in terms of pet importation, so there's quite a few regulations around it. But I'm quite excited to be able to bring my
sure.
cat along as well, because I think that in Singapore you don't really bring cats outdoors, right? But in Australia, with all the beaches and all, I'm quite sure that she'll be happy if we take her out once in a while to enjoy the environment along with us. Yeah, so anyway, aside from the introductions, I think this is also a good time for us to briefly talk about the process of how we applied for the visa, for those of you who may also be interested or looking at it, right? So this is a work holiday visa. It entitles travelers to stay for 1 year in Australia to be able to work and holiday at the same time. So you may travel in and out of Australia within that 1 year as much as you want, and you may also stay within that 1 year time period. We both applied for our visa sometime in early November last year. So basically it's about 8 months ahead of when we are going to move to Australia. So just to note, this visa is an individual visa. So even though we are going together, our applications were sort of independent of each other. It's just that we are really planning our journey together as a couple rather than as individuals. But the visa, everything is still tied to your own name and has nothing to do with the other person's lah. So anyway, in November, we were still not too sure of whether we wanted to commit to this decision at this point in time because of various other considerations. But I think we ultimately decided to just try our luck and see whether we will get our visas approved. So we just applied, and then subsequently our visas got approved. So we decided to take the plunge and fix the date that we wanted to move. Okay, but back to how to apply for the visa, right? Based on our research, which was mostly done by Trish back then, it was basically to apply online. There are two ways to do it. The first is, of course, you get a migration agent in whichever country you are in to assist you, but that is going to cost a bit of money.
Yeah, and it's really not necessary,
we checked,
honestly.
I think it's a few $1,000s
For a
more
working
than if you were
holiday,
to do it yourself.
not worth it. So it's better to do it alone.
But of course,
on your
if you
own.
are worried about things and if you prefer someone to help guide you along the process, I think definitely it's okay to go with a migration agent. But if not, you can do what we did, which is just to do it yourself online. The way you do it is you have to go to Australia's EMI website.
Yep.
And you just have to start your application by making your account and selecting the right visa number that you're applying for. So for the working holiday, it's either 417 or 462. Depending on which country you are from. For Singaporeans, it's 462. The system will then tell you what you need to upload and what you need to do or submit, and it's quite a guided process. So you just have to follow step by step and provide the necessary documents. And then you can also save drafts of your application, so you don't have to worry if you need time to go and dig out certain things that you may be missing or certain things that you may need to procure, such as your education transcripts or even
some other like certs
medical
or
stuff,
documentation.
certs, documents, identity documents lah.
After that, then once the application is submitted, I think people's experience, they all vary, but I think typically what happens next is that you are required to go for a checkup. So that was pretty simple and straightforward. You just have to look at the list of medical providers that are approved for a checkup specifically for this work and holiday visa.
Yeah, that's in your country lah. So
Yeah,
there
in
are,
your
I think there are at
country.
least 1 or 2 clinics in every country. Singapore had 3.
I don't know.
I think it was 3. Yeah, I believe it
around
was
there.
3.
So we just went with the cheapest one. And then, yeah, pretty straightforward. So we just showed up, did, it was like an hour, 2 hours tops, medical assessment, and then, yeah, we were done.
I
And-
think I did hear about what do they look out for on the medical checkup, right? Because I think that I've seen some people who have been quite worried whether or not certain conditions that they may have would affect their chances of getting the visa approved. So I think that they generally look out for things that are more chronic or long-term illnesses or things that are more serious where you may need to have regular and heavy medical care. But aside from that, I think if you have any just short-term illnesses or sickness like if you just have the flu or if you have COVID, those are temporary. Those are not gonna really affect your application. And generally, if you're healthy and you don't have any long-term or chronic illnesses, I think you should be fine. You can do your checkup even if you may be just down with the flu or fever or cough or whatever at a point in time. So yeah, so that's the medical checkup.
Yep, so I think that was kind of it. And then the rest of it, honestly, is a waiting game. So the funny thing is that for your visa, you got approved in like 3 weeks. Mine took almost 5 months. So it's honestly just the luck of the draw.
I don't think it's the luck of the draw. I think for her, she had to submit more things because her initial application was a bit incomplete lah. So it took a bit more time in that regard.
But I think generally, because I was on a lot of Facebook groups, I think the waiting time does honestly vary, and some people get a bit anxious. So I think the only advice is to just hold on tight, and I think you generally should be fine. Yeah, you just have to give it a bit of time and plan in advance.
Additionally, you should also note that there's a fee for the visa application that you have to pay to the Australian government. At the time we applied, it cost us 670 Australian dollars for each of our applications. But I think that we have just found out today that unfortunately the cost has gone up. So right now it is 840 for first-time applicants, 840 Australian dollars for first-time applicants. So do take note of that cost. And that also will be separate from the additional cost that you have to bear for your medical checkup. So that is dependent on the clinic or hospital that you visit. So do take note of the cost. One more thing also to note is that this visa has a fixed quota on a yearly basis to be granted to citizens of each nationality. Every country has a number that Australia sets for the applicants each year. So once they hit the quota, no more applications will be accepted until the next cycle. I think usually it starts in July or August. Yeah. So especially for citizens from China, India and Vietnam, because the number of applicants, which I understand is quite high, there's also a ballot system where you basically have to apply first for a ballot system to be selected before you can make a formal application for the visa itself. So do take note if you're from these countries. So you can also check the immigration's website to know what is the remaining quota and whether Australia is still accepting applicants from your respective country. So for Singapore, I think it's 2,500 applications a year, sorry, visas a year. For Singaporeans, I don't think you have to worry about the quota. It's just that I think you should always cater enough time ahead of when you actually intend to go to apply for your visa. So we generally recommend you at least 6 to 8 months beforehand to apply for your visa. This is also to allow you some time to pack your things and to tidy up your affairs before you actually move or fly to Australia. Finally, just a bit more explanation of the visa. Once the visa application is granted, so basically once your visa is given to you, you have a 1 year time period where you are then able to travel to Australia. If your visa is granted on the 1st of January 2026, you're able to travel to Australia up to 31st December 2026. And then there's the second part to this, which is that the moment you land in Australia, the first day that you enter Australia, then you will be able to stay for a 1 year period from that date. So if I land in Australia on the 1st of June 2026, I can stay to the 31st of May 2027. So there's 2 time periods. Do take note of that. And this is, I think, also to allow people to plan their
Yep.
trip in advance. You know, it's not as though like you need to fly on the next day that you get your visa so as to maximize the amount of time you have there, because technically the time that you're entitled to stay in Australia only starts running when you land in Australia.
Yep.
Yeah, so that gives you time to plan ahead. So even if you do not know exactly when you want to travel, you have some leeway, and you can consider it again when you're granted the visa lah. So the advice, of course, is never book your air ticket until you get your visa, right?
Yes.
In summary, yeah, I think that we are very excited to start this journey. You know, if you guys are interested in coming along with us for the next 2 years, you do stay tuned to our channel. Very excited. Do subscribe as well if you're
If you like.
if you like.
If you
Yeah.
like.
So hopefully all goes well, and we would like to just extend our gratitude and thanks to the many people along the way who have already like extended their encouragement and
Yeah.
support for us to do this journey. So very grateful for that, and you know,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. So again,
Is it hi,
filming
guys?
is harder than we thought.
Is it hi guys?